This weekend we lost literally a legend here from this austere body and in the entire state of New Jersey. And literally, I appreciate the honor of saying a few words on behalf of the Essex delegation and each and every one of you as to our thoughts and memories of Dick Codey. Literally on Saturday, I was meeting with a constituent, just literally hours before Dick's passing, and he told me a real touching story about how Dick acted as a mentor for his son and what a profound impact he had on his boy's life. That's one of many stories, of course, and I just think that his empathy and connection with people will certainly be his greatest epitaph. And maybe I'm saying a few words because I've known him the longest here, I would bet y'all. I was a starstruck kid in middle school who wanted to meet the guy that was the youngest member ever elected to the New Jersey Assembly. He gave me a really important job, that was setting up chairs at his victory celebration at the Orange Elks, and who knew that was going to be the first victory celebration of many over the next 40-plus years. I think of the words of integrity, compassion, bipartisanship, unwavering commitment to public service, empathy, humility, advocacy, and boy, what a sharp sense of humor, and an unyielding love of family. Now, with a career that spanned over 5 decades, we'd be here all day talking about his legislative accomplishments. There's a couple that come to mind. You know, the Casino Control Act, the ruling our gaming industry to this day, keeping it law-abiding, that came from Dick Codey's pen. Even though he was a Giant fan, he was instrumental in getting the Giants to move here to a very professional sports-starved state. And as the world comes to New Jersey to settle its soccer championship in a few months, I'll remember that it was Dick Codey that started all of that. Perhaps he's best known of all for being frustrated with the way our state was delivering mental health services, and it was a time when there was a Democratic administration. And he went undercover, hired under the guise of who was a convicted rapist, because he was so frustrated that they weren't doing simple background checks. And therefore it was his undercover events at Marlboro. And the thing that he said to me meant the most to him is when he looked at those individuals with serious persistent mental illness, he thought of their parents and said at one time they all had great aspirations as it relates to their children, like we all do for our children. And that at a minimum we as a state could provide to their children a sense of dignity. And from there was great reforms and regulation and the proper amount of resources to go. You know, during his time as governor, his love of his life, Mary Jo, was very public about her postpartum issues and really did so much to remove the stigma of mental illness. And to this day, his foundation carries on that legacy. And I tell you this, I was there when he took a poke at that radio host who was disrespectful to Mary Jo. His 18 months as governor, you know, the public perception, rightfully so, at that point in time was as low as it would ever be, not only to the governor, but to all of us. Dick drew on his instincts, his guile, his self-deprecating way, and he became one of our most popular governors. And the selflessness, frankly, of him stepping aside and not trying to continue that, to me, was a real crowning achievement. Mentoring young people, again, was his long passion as governor. The one dumb political thing he did, if you ever saw him coach a basketball game, was he'd be screaming at the refs. I used to talk to the other coaches and said, "You know this guy?" But beyond that, his political instincts were second to none, and the kids that he mentored, a lot of which on the basketball court didn't have a great male presence in their lives, he's had an influence on them 2 generations deep. You know, his greatest gift to me was, and maybe all of us, was imbibing the responsibility of an elected official to speak for those who are not able to speak for themselves, to advocate and work hard for people who will never even know your name. It's a friendship I will always treasure, as he was a remarkable man who made a lasting impact, God knows, on my life and all of those of New Jerseyans. If you'd all join me in a moment of silence for our friend, Governor Richard Codey.
Thank you, Senator. Please rise for a moment of silence.